Hey everybody, Fishman here. Welcome to the video. I know it's still a little early. I only just recently set up the new bed of breeding aquarium, and that water definitely needs to mature quite a bit more before I want to attempt to actually breed the fish. But I do need to introduce the female into the tank. One reason, of course, is to allow her to acclimate to the water as well, and of course for them to get used to each other and hopefully get stimulated for him to build a nest and her to hopefully want to lay some eggs. So what I'm going to do to that end is I'm going to use that chamber. It's the one I used in the summer when I was using the Rubbermaid tubs. I had cut it down, unfortunately, at that time, so that would just fit underneath the lip of the tub. And then, of course, I put a sheet of acrylic on the top, and that would keep them, from jumping and all that sort of stuff. Now, the new tank, when the filter is running at its optimum, is 6 inches in depth, which makes it, only half an inch difference, but definitely more than enough room for them to wiggle over the barrier. So what I need to do is build a little bit of a platform. That way it can sit up on there and allows me to move it around in case I want to do water changes and that sort of stuff in there as, again, she gets used to the new water. And also, of course, when it comes time, all I have to do is just lightly lift it out, and I won't be disturbing it all that much when they actually get to the point where hopefully they will breed. So what I'm going to do here is put all that together. And as you can see, I'm really enjoying the new workstation. I've got some more drawers on the way, but these ones are working out really well. I know it's just a jumble of acrylic pieces in there, but they're all the same thickness. So it's much simpler for me to sort through, as you saw, and pick out pieces that I don't have to have too much waste with. So I don't cut down more than I need to. And it's actually really coming in quite handy. Now you notice also there I have cut the sheet for it's going to be the platform, and that has also got 4 holes in it just to allow any gas that either gets trapped underneath or whatever to bubble out without lifting up the whole thing and of course tipping everybody in together. And also the another nice thing about this station is it does really organize all that, and it makes this process so much simpler and straightforward. This is going to be a very simple weld up. The only thing I did a little bit differently is the top of the platform is actually not going to be at the top. I am going to lower it down inside the sides a little bit. That way there will be a little bit of a rim all the way around. And that way, if I get in there and I accidentally knock it, I won't knock the cylinder off the platform. And of course, introduce the female to the male prematurely. And on the odd chance that they might get a little frisky and move it around themselves, they definitely won't be able to knock it towards the sides and, of course, allow her to slip out. That's pretty much the only real modification of this. The only other thing that's different this time through from the other breeding attempts I've done, I'm being a lot more particular about the water I'm using. The water is going to definitely be soft, and it's going to be a lot more acid because I am putting oak leaves in. There's going to be a fair amount of tannins in there. And the other attempts I was doing the first time, even with the tubs, I wasn't being too particular about which aquariums I took the water out of. I was using aquarium water instead of using tap water. And a lot of my tanks have coral in it, and that, of course, raises the pH and the hardness. And, of course, when I was trying with the pond itself, that whole barrel is full of coral, and it just simply wasn't the best conditions for them. So this weld up, like I said, is going to be very straightforward. And then, again, I'm not going to rush this. I'm definitely going to allow them to get used to the water and get used to each other. I have currently 2 pairs. I have the original male, which was being very aggressive towards the females. And I have a new male, which is younger, and so far, I haven't actually put a female in with him yet, except I think once. And I don't think the water was anywhere near something that they wanted to spawn in anyway, so nothing ever came of it. He wasn't overly feisty or anything, but again, there wasn't optimal breeding conditions, so we'll have to see. I'm going to start off with him and the original female I had, and then we're going to mix and match and see how it all goes. Now you'll notice one thing in the last clip. One of the sides had been a little long, and as you can see, I just trimmed it down with a saw. It's very easy to work with acrylic that way. And there you go. This is all done. And you're going to see here in a second, I can bounce that around quite a bit, and even when it's over to the sides, it still doesn't actually go over those holes. Not that the female will ever fit through them anyway, but I do plan on feeding her some live foods, and that way they'll stay in the chamber with her and give her a much greater chance of hunting them down. So here's the aquarium. It's doing really quite well. It's nice and clear, and you'll notice the water is nice and still. That's really important because I do want to have a bit more surface tension. That way, when he builds a bubble nest, the bubbles will last a lot longer, and he doesn't have to work so hard at keeping it intact. So I'm going to put the platform in. I just tossed it in the front for now. I'm not sure actually where I'm going to end up keeping it. And then it's going to plop this in here and put the female in. And then I want to show you a little bit of how they interact. Initially, she's well, basically just stunned. Being moved from one aquarium to another does that to a fish. But she does perk up a little bit near the end. And initially, he is more than thrilled to have her there. So that's actually a good sign too. So I'm going to plop her in here, and she'll have plenty of time to get used to the water. And as you can see, instantly he is more than interested. But again, she's just got into the water, wants nothing to do with him. But I'm going to show you again a little bit of a close-up of them, and I have some hopes for this. This is probably the best chance at breeding them. And as far as water temperature goes, which is one thing I haven't talked about yet, my fish room in the summer is in the low 80s because it's no point in trying to cool off the room or anything. I just let it go. And it never really gets too hot because it is in the basement. In the spring and the fall, it drops down into the mid-70s. And I was thinking I was going to have to add a heater into this. But now that we're getting to late November, the water temperatures in my fish room have gone up again. Not quite to 80 or anything, but I'd redirect a lot of the heat in the house from the forced air into the basement, and then just have the heat raise up through the house that way. So the basement is warmer than the rest of the house, and I find it is, again, roughly mid to high 70s. We'll see how that goes as far as that being high enough for them to want to breed. But again, this is something I'm going to take my time with, and like I said, he's really interested. He's a lovely fish, and I'm hoping that, I'm hoping that they will do what they need to do, and I can raise some bettas, because I certainly wouldn't mind having some. So we're going to show you some more clips of this, and then one more, I think it's about 2 hours later. He had actually already started building a bubble nest, which is kind of cool. But he's going to have to be patient because I don't want to rush this. So if you look in the upper left-hand corner as I pan down here, you're going to see right there, he's already started to build some bubbles. I mean, it's just kind of, the early stages yet, so we'll see how that goes. But you can see also that she's starting to move around a lot more too, so I have my hopes. Anyway, leave comments. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think of this. And if you have any suggestions, I've tried to take into account a bunch of suggestions I've gotten already from viewers and comments and all that sort of stuff. But if you have any more, definitely let me know. If anyone's bred them and has suggestions along those lines as well, I'll be more than happy to try different things out. So again, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in the next video, and bye for now.